What is this place? Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Sorry. My keyboard seems to be acting up. Trying to deal with that here. A bunch of the keys aren't working. It's like stuck in numpad mode. Please stop being in numpad mode.
What is this place?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me grab my other keyboard. What is going on? I don't know if I've just gotten it into a weird state. But, acting up. Alright, luckily I do have a backup keyboard. You tried turning it off and on again. Yeah, I did. Let me try again. I think it has enough of a battery that it, like, remembers the state it's in. But let's try that. It's like a $300 keyboard. So you would think this sort of thing wouldn't happen. It's like a beautiful keyboard. Here's the half of it that's acting up. One of the Kinesis Advantage Pros. All right, which of these do I turn back on first? The left one and then the right one. How's it going? Yeah, $300 for a numpad, exactly, Fusionist. How's it going? It's a really good keyboard. Like, I've had wrist issues pretty much forever using like a standard like keyboard, like my beautiful backup Keychron, which I mostly use for like interacting with the BIOS. It's an incredible keyboard. It's like very ergonomic. Like, it's a little hard to get used to the thumb keys, but really, really nice. And I've never had a problem with it until now. Okay, and now it's back. I don't know what I did. I got into some kind of shadow mode where none of the keys worked right. But we're gonna keep the other keyboard nearby in case. All right. How's everyone doing? What a horrible start to a stream. Like, welcome back. I broke my keyboard. All right. Get to it. Green screen. Be green. There we go. That's kind of scary. Shadow mode. Yeah, I don't know what I did. All right. So yesterday we were trying out like a new version of our little cutaway visibility thing. I'm good, Scott. I was really tired this morning. So I like slept in and it was raining. It was like really hard to get up. It was one of those days where it's just the perfect stay in bed kind of morning where you're like, it's raining, it's cold, I'm tired, but I got out of bed. I got a breakfast bagel. I got a coffee. I got to walk in the rain a little bit. I actually weirdly love that. I don't go far, you know, I just go a few blocks, but like, good stuff. It was a good morning. I did my work for the morning. Now we're gonna do some dev. I had a moment where I was watching episode 140 when we do our oh, Pret Fusionist. Sounds like a good time. You'll probably switch to similar as you get older. Already switched out your mouse. Oh yeah, yeah. ergonomics, I'll get back to what I was saying in a second, but ergonomics is huge now. Like, yeah, the split keyboard where your hand just maintains this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the shape your hand makes when you're holding like a ball. Like, it's not flat like this on a keyboard. It's like you maintain this shape, this kind of diagonal on this weird ass keyboard. Because it's elevated. You can kind of see here. It's like super weird. I think it's overkill, and you can definitely get a cheaper one. But it's so nice. It's padded, it's angled. Like, my hands basically make this shape all day. This like slightly like I'm holding like a large orb. Beautiful. And in the mouse department, I got the I have two mice depending on how I'm feeling. I have the MX Master S3, which is nice, and it has this kind of rest for your thumb. But I also have the MX Master Vertical, which is like, neither of these are gaming mice. But look at that. Look at this curve. Look at this sweet curve for your hand. So if I'm feeling like I need, and when you're using a vertical mouse, you can basically maintain a handshake posture. It's so good. Yeah, I highly recommend paying very close attention to the ergonomics of your mouse and keyboard. And just, it's one of those things, it's like, I always love nerds that will like spend $1 million on their, well, not $1 million, but you know, they'll spend a couple $1,000s on a computer and be sitting in like a $50 chair. And it's like, dude, who cares about the computer? Get a good chair. You're in the chair the whole day. Like, it's one of those things. It's like anything that I touch pretty much all day, like shoes, standing mats, like anything that's basically I'm interacting with the entire day, that is where I sink my money. Not like into aesthetic things or like whatever. It's like huge. But yeah, it's such a common thing to see someone with like this incredible computer on like this like horribly positioned desk with like this like with like a kitchen chair or something like that, or a folding chair. I love the folding chair. Like, what is happening? All right. So we have a bit of a bug at the moment. Why do I have this shader material applied to everything? That should be empty. I was trying to do this a different way, and now I'm worried I didn't. Okay, it was just that one. But we're trying different methods of like visibility cutaway stuff. I forgot what I was talking about before we started talking about ergonomics. Oh, yeah, we're thinking about different visibility things. About like different ways of like how we want it to look when the game board takes up the entire screen or most of the screen. Right now it's just most of the screen. But my expectation is that when you're zoomed in like this, the ship might take up the entire screen. And I want to account for that. Fusionist, people learn their lesson once they start hurting at the very least. I know, it's crazy. Because also as you get older, you can like just get out of bed wrong and your back hurts for like a week. It's insane. Like I lifted a few boxes like a couple months ago. I like lifted some boxes at work and my back hurt for like 2 weeks. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Oh, the music's still going. I'm gonna pause it after this song. We have a ton more music now. I mentioned it yesterday, but we have like hundreds of hours of music available to us again. So I feel like I could play the music the whole stream, but I'm not listening to it. And I feel like that's bad form to be like playing music that you're not like moderating. And I feel like people have gotten used to like being able to play their own music in the background and stuff. So I'm tempted to turn it off and only play music for the intros and outros and stuff. But I don't know. You appreciate that? Yeah, okay, yeah. I just forget about it because I'm not listening to it. I'm gonna fade it out here. My coffee's getting to that point where it's like, you better drink it. You better finish this coffee because it's gonna be undrinkable in a minute. Yeah, it's starting to thicken up and cool down, which is not a good combination. All right. So anyway, what I was saying was I was watching one of our old VODs where we had our old cutaway system that was like you tunneled into the ship. So like you could see the outer layers of the upper, you could see the outside of a certain area on the upper layers. And it was really cool because you could see the outside of the ship. It wasn't like what we've got now where you're like literally just flicking away the upper layers and they're just getting out of the way. And I don't know what I prefer now. So I think I'm gonna go back and forth a little bit, and I'm gonna try to set this up so that I can switch between them more easily. There is a bug I need to resolve first, which is that our level shuffling, what I call shuffling between levels, is not working correctly. We're having this weird thing. Let me observe what's happening, and then it might make sense to me what's going on. So what we're doing is like we go down. Hold on, yeah. We go down one, go down two, we go down three, we go down four, and now we're going to try to go up one. Nothing happened, except now can't draw anything. So we're up on the next level, but it didn't come back. And now I'm going to go up again. Okay, now it's back, but I still can't draw it because now the cursor's on another level. So we've desynced basically. And I go up again, and I go up again. Now I'm going to go up one more time. And now we're totally desynced and we haven't brought the top level in. Now I can't do anything anymore. So, oh, now I went back down one. So yeah, there's some kind of weird desynchronization thing happening at the boundaries. I'm curious what it is. So I need to figure that out firstly. How's it going? What's everyone been working on this week? What's weird is when I print the layers out here, you can kind of see this. We go down to 1, 0, and then when you come back up, we should be at 0, 1, but that never happens, which is perplexing. I'm gonna make sure we're not overwriting things at a higher level. No, we're just calling super. You're a fusionist. You're working on a bit of everything this week. Spending some time writing a serializer for a custom templating system. Cool. We need to get back to serialization on this game. I'm getting sick of having to like recreate my test ships like every single time. That's awesome. Godot makes serialization really easy. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like doing serialization on the C# side. Because that's where we're probably going to do it, because that's where the game data is. So our tweens are right. They're mapped to the correct nodes, I think. There doesn't seem to be any issue with that. There's just an issue at the boundary. When view level should be equal to next level. Like if we're... Actually, it shouldn't be equal. It should just flip the other way. Why doesn't it flip the other way? So this prints incoming and then outgoing. So if incoming is 1 and outgoing is 0. Hold on, I'm going to do this one more time and then actually pay attention to the printout here. So we're at the top. So we're at 0. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I might have accidentally done that twice. Do that one more time without over rolling past it. I'll use the keys to make sure I don't. I also have this set up to the scroll wheel. It's really easy to overshoot on the scroll wheel. One, nope. What? Oh, it's set up to be shift down. Shift down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we go down and then we go back up. Fusionist. Oh, C# makes it so easy technically. Library support is huge, and even without using it, you don't. There's just so much IO and parsing utility. Yeah, that's cool. I'm just thinking about like, we're going to be going off of like the Godot file system. So I just need to be able to get the paths and stuff, I guess, into C# and know where I'm saving things and everything. And that should be easy. Because our C# side really doesn't talk to Godot very often. But yeah, I'm sure it's easy. We also need to set up some tasks with a capital T, which I've never used before. But we need to do some multi-threading of some of our C# stuff. We need to get it off of the main thread onto some other threads. I don't know if I'm going to set that up on stream because I don't know how to do it. So I might end up doing that ourselves. But that's really our limiter preventing us from testing even larger levels. And larger levels is what I want to test. So I feel like we're going to be getting into that too soon. But right now I want to, I don't know. I think maybe some people feel like I'm over engineering like the initial stuff, which is just like the basic presentation and like the basic interaction as far as like how the user sees and can interact with the game just on the most basic level of like, how do you use the mouse? Like, what are the controls? Like, what do you see? And like, to me, that's like, that is like the fundamental part of the game. And how the player can interact with the game is like the basis on which everything else gets built on top. So it's like, I want to spend some time on this. Like, how are we presenting the information to the player? How can they use that information to like interact? What can they see? How much of it can they see? All right, so here's our test. This isn't done in duplicate because we have two sets of levels moving. We have like a guide as well as the editor levels themselves, which are like the blocks moving up and down. So this printout is duplicated. So we start out at layer 0 and we move to 1. Then from layer 1 we go to 2. Then to 2 we go to 3. And from 3 we go to 4. And then when I go back up, it says the same thing. I guess I need a different logic for if next level is greater than... No, that's what this is. This is a check of... So if we get all the way down to the bottom, where level index and view level are both 4, and then the next level should be... So we should be getting a -1 from this. Let me make sure that's the case. Yeah, we do. We get a -1. So we should start going back up. And visibly, that's kind of what happens, but there's a point at which things kind of fail a little bit, and I don't understand where that failure is occurring. So when we want to come back up, I can honestly comment this whole thing out and like just go a different way about this, but I want to go back to trying one of the other visibility systems we have at full screen and see how that feels. Okay, we're subbing out the coffee. The coffee is undrinkable now. One more sip. Yeah. All right. It did its job. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get down to 4, 3, and then we come back up. These numbers should start to be reversed. It should go 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 0. But for some reason, we're getting the exact same The exact same thing. And I feel like that's the source of our problem. These numbers, these two sets of numbers should flip because it's the incoming and then the outgoing. And while we're going down, this is the correct order. And then as we're coming back up, the order should flip. So for some reason, that's not happening, and I need to understand. I mean, it's just this simple check here, and it's wrong. 5-8, hello. How's it going? How are you doing this week? All right, so incoming. So the next level is the level we're panning to. The level index is the current level we're at. We don't update it until we're done with this function call. So if next level, so the incoming is the next level, then incoming should always be the next level, shouldn't it? Yeah, what am I doing here? The incoming is always the next level, and the outgoing is always the level index. Is that right? Am I just overthinking this, causing an error? Whoa, what? Oh, okay. No, because sometimes we don't want to do that. Although this is pretty cool. We're like substituting levels. We don't want to always, I guess we don't always want to do it. Sometimes we want to leave the level underneath. I see, I see, I see. Okay, okay. Okie doke. So there isn't always an outgoing level is the trick. That's the trick of this. Pretty good. Awesome, 5-8. We're trying out some different visibility methods because we're creating this 3D stack of levels, right? And we're trying out some different techniques for peering into where you want to, for like cutting away everything else and like looking down into it. We've tried different techniques. We've tried like tunneling in and basically like carving a cylinder out above like where we want to look, or like carving a block out and calling everything between us and it, like between the camera and where we want to mouse into. And we've tried other things, which is like slicing the top layers off. So we're like, get this layer off, get this layer off, get this layer off. And that's what we're doing now. We're trying this with larger maps because I feel like larger maps are behaving differently than smaller maps. The smaller maps, I really liked the slicing layers off because you could put a layer on the side and you could still see that layer. So you could see like up to 3 different layers and like mouse between them and stuff. And I thought that was cool. And we might still do something like that, honestly. We might show like up to 3 levels of like the area around the mouse cursor. Or we're going to go back to this thing, which was like we tunneled down in to where we want to see. That's like maybe it's deep inside the ship. Because the tunneling thing where you kind of carve away the space around it, you can still see the outer shells outside of the area that you're interested in. And I think that is cool. Because then you can see like stuff hitting the ship, or like maybe like stuff happening on the outside of the ship, like maybe a gun turret is rotating or like an engine is burning or something like that. And like I like that. I think I actually prefer that, because I think I would prefer that you can see the outside of the ship, as much of the outside of the ship as possible. And you have this relatively small area that you can carve out of the ship to look at where you want to look. So we're trying a few different things. I have a bug with the current way I'm doing it, which is why we're testing this. You know, for testing purposes, I'm going to just go back to the other way we were doing it, which was inefficient because we were doing a lot, but it worked. So we're just going to go back to doing this for a minute. This worked exactly, I think. Let's see if that's still true. Huh. We still have this oh, interesting, interesting. Maybe I introduced this problem somewhere else, or maybe the problem is here. Huh, it's behaving weirdly now. Interesting. Are we not clamping this? We are. So we're clamping it between 0 and level count -1. That's correct. Yeah, why are we desynchronizing? We're losing our synchronization somewhere. Oh, the other system expects this to happen in the opposite order. That's why the other system is not working. This should work now. Okay. This system's inefficient because we're basically tweening every layer every time any layer changes. So that's like mildly inefficient, but that also doesn't matter. And now the layers just go away. Our auto tiler starts to really struggle. Watch this. Like once we have this many tiles, there's just a lot happening. So that's why we really need threads. We need to do some threading. Because we need to give our auto tiler like a few frames to do this work. Trying to do it every single frame. I can't even draw the full area. So this is like the layer system. Oh yeah, look at this. It's not even... It's slow enough where it's not even fading in and out correctly. All right. Well, regardless, I want to go back to our other system for a minute and check that out. It should be pretty easy to set up our systems as tasks. I just need to look at setting up a boundary between the input and output and the system once we get it into a task. So, wow, I have a lot of tabs. Sometimes you just got to close all tabs, start over, you know? You know what I mean? So the game and the world and main system, tool system, the tile system. Okay, the tile system is mainly the one we want. So we're going to switch from this model. Comment out this block, substitute in the other block. Sometimes people are like, wow, you haven't done shit for being on episode 140 something. And I'm like, well, that's because this is what we do. We go back and forth. We try something out. We decide if we like it. We go back the other way. We try that out. We try everything. All right, so we're not going to use shuffle between levels anymore. What we're going to do, the way we're going to do this is instead we use the board and we set up an alternative version of the map cursor to level chords. So we comment that out. We do a version that's like basically just, how do we know what chords we're on? I guess we just only use the level index. So we basically say, do something like this. Say vector, we say variable, chords, vector 2i. Instead of prior chords z, we're just using level index. We also don't need to use, we can just use static layers. Don't need to use the moving layers. It was cool that the layers were moving. I actually really like that. I think I accidentally made that like level slicing thing like too juicy. Now proceed to reopen all the same tabs. Exactly, Ryson. Exactly. How's it going? How's all your stuff going? All right. Are we gonna not? We're not gonna check. We're only going to. So we're locked to whatever level index we're currently on. That should be sufficient. So we can draw on this layer and then we can go down a layer. I'm unclear what happened there. So oh, I didn't hit the button because it's shift up or down. Okay, so like we're changing layers somehow. Things are happening. Like there's an offset between my cursor and as it appears. I don't understand that exactly. The cutaway system is not doing anything. Well, it's doing this, but it's not doing anything on like lower levels. All right. Some of these methods are to an extent incompatible. Maybe we don't reference static levels. Maybe we reference the editor layers. Variable editor layers array tilemap layer. Say for level in editor levels dot get children editor layers dot append level dot get. Oh, well, hold on. Yeah, let's just use moving layers. Let's not worry about this. They're not moving at the moment. At least they shouldn't be. Maybe they are. Moving layers. I would like to make these two visibility cutaway systems a little more plug and play so that I could switch between them and try them out. Right now they're behaving a little weirdly. So when we go down, yeah, we're getting an offset. But we're not actually drawing on a different, very peculiar. Does this system presume that we're sending the final index and not just the difference between the indexes? Is that maybe the problem? Supply has mostly fallen off. You're struggling to find something you feel like working on. That's fair. Are you switching back to practicing drawing? That's a cool thing to do. That's a good thing to practice. Work on. Oh, return vector 3i coords.x dot prior coords.z. That's wrong. Level index. Fear the copy pasta. No, I get it. And honestly, I never work on tools that I don't have a real world need for, because I struggle with that too. Like if you're just working on a tool because you think it'd be a cool tool for it to exist. I mean, some people have the attitude that like that's what drives them. But like for me, if I don't have a practical application in mind for the tool, I can't be bothered to work on it. All right, so now what if we try changing layers? All right, now that part's working. I need to change something else. I need to change one of the rules for the cutaway system. We're going to have it work this way. Oops, that was the wrong block. Yoink. There we go. All right, so we're not correctly rendering the sides of the deck. Okay, so when is the time that we would want to render that? I tried to make the tile map layer a little, I tried to optimize a little bit as far as overdraw, like assigning tiles that weren't visible, but I seem to have gone too far. We actually do need to see this floor. So this, we need to check our cutaway. All right, so if you're a deck X or a deck Y and you are being cut away, let me draw some here. You still need to draw. Okay, the bulks work. The decks are being erased though. The walls are fine. The decks are drawing correctly. So you should still draw if your cutaway, if your opposite block is cut away. Okay. I think I see the thing that needs to change here. I wish I could spend some more time practicing drawing. That has not come up in so long. I haven't done any animating or drawing in so long. The only thing I'm going to need to do is redo the doors a bit, but like I really want to start drawing some stuff. I want to draw what like an engine looks like. I want to draw what looks like what like a deck cannon looks like, or like a laser, or I don't know, anything. I want to do some more industrial drawings. And I need to practice organic like animation. I need to practice like run cycles and like even just a little thing of like a dude do it like the FTL, like what I would call like the console shuffle, which is like you just move your hands around looking like you're like pressing keys on something. Like that's hard to get looking good. Especially with the number of pixels I have available. Okay, so deck X, if hull is middle, continue. So this is wrong. This isn't true. What it should be is if hull is middle, and not cutaways contains, it's this. It's the same rule as the bulk now. And not cutaways contains key. Is it just key? Key plus a vector. It's key plus vector 3i dot right. Then you continue. Yeah, it's that. A little more precise. Ryson, when you don't have a practical application, you usually can still manage to keep it in the rotation of your interests to the point where you have something you're okay with. But yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah. I just want to finish I just want to finish some stuff about one of my old jam games that I did for my last that I did for Ludum Dare 57. I just want to, or not 57, 55. I just want to finish it and I just can't find time for it. And it makes me annoyed because I would like to put out the little remastered version of it. I enjoy it, but like I haven't worked on it seriously since like July. And I keep picking it up and being like, what do I have to do again? And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, there's actually a bit to do here. Like I need to record music and like write tutorials and do like balance testing. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do all of that. And then I just put it away again. And then I think about it again a month later and I'm like, oh, what do I need to do to finish this? And I'm like, it's a vicious cycle. All right, this should behave correctly now. As far as when we're cutting away the walls, it should look correct again. Or when we're cutting away the floors, it should look correct. So we go down. Okay, it's correct for Y, not correct for X. Oh, it's not vector 3.right. It's vector 3.up. Confusingly. Okay, well now that one works, but not the other. What is happening here? How did I break the other one? Hull is hold out middle and not cutaways dot contains. Key. Oh, key. I need to change the cutaways to be not so layer specific, maybe. But no, that should still work. So it's cutaways key plus vector 3i. So if you're the X deck, your opposite neighbor, it is plus vector 3i dot up, isn't it? Your positive y-axis neighbor. If your positive y-axis neighbor is not being cut away, we don't need to draw this. Oh, wait. I got them mixed up. This should work now. Yeah, okay. There we go. I feel like this is maybe a little too aggressive now. Let's just carve out some like hallways in here or whatever. Oh. So like there's a hallway, like a 2-tile hallway, which feels like really narrow, and I'd probably actually prefer wider hallways. Yeah, if you want to look all the way back here, let's say there's like a room back here, and you want to look all the way back here, you could do this and look all the way back here, or you could just like turn the camera around and then it's here. So I'm glad we have cameras working again, camera rotation. Here we keep going. I do kind of, I do think I actually kind of really like this method. God, this is slow. We need to speed this up. We need to look at that. Because it's only slow for some reason when there's a lot of bulks. Seems to not be much of an issue. Here's a fun example. So here, if I want to lay this out, I need to actually turn the camera around. Do it like this. I actually need to do this in like multiple steps. So now I need to turn the camera around again. I feel like a lot of people are not going to want to turn the camera around. Like, I kind of like this. You can see the layers of the walls and the floors above you. I feel like maybe it's too noisy. What we need to do is we need to shift the camera up or down a little bit. We need to shift the camera, or at least make it so you can shift the camera. We either need to shift the camera when you just go up or down a layer, or we need to just make it possible for you to control it manually instead of having it be automatic. I mean, maybe both. Really hard to tell that you're rotating the camera right now because there's like no variety, but I think that will have a major impact on this. I feel like I prefer this, especially the bigger the ship gets. I feel like I prefer this cutaway system more than the layer one. Because now we can still see the outside of the ship. Like, it's harder to do big constructions here, but like, and maybe we need to expand the upper deck cutaway part so that you can see a little more. Maybe this is too cut in. You shared some of your drawings on Discord? Hell yes. Thank you. That's awesome. Like, maybe we should cut away even more aggressively. I would like to test even bigger maps, but we just can't. We just can't until I've sped up the process. Or offloaded that stuff onto a different thread. All right. Are there any obvious speed ups that we can make now? Or is that just a waste of time? I wish we didn't iterate through every key, every hull key, because we have a hull key entry for every single tile. Not just every block, but every tile. We need that for the hulls, obviously, but like, we then iterate through every single one. And I guess that's not meaningfully different than what we would do otherwise. Why is this orange? Oh, this is a major allocation. Data.add range. Adds the element of the specified collection to the end of the list. We allocated 150 megabytes. Probably a better way to do this. We can probably do this with like a span maybe or something. We're adding every single piece of data in the entire value collection. Like, the only thing we're doing here is we're like prepping the data a little bit. Oh no, here we're making the new Yeah, there's probably a better way we can do that. Oh man. It's warning us about a lot of allocation stuff that it didn't care about before. And it cares now because what is this? Cares now because we're operating at a scale where like you'll notice it. 118 megabytes allocated. Putting way too much on the heap, on the small object heap. 2 array is not great. Why are we copying this to a new array? Is it just so I can get it into an array? And we just, oh, we can't put it, we can't keep it in a span. But maybe we can just keep it in list form. No, because we're trying to get it from a byte array to, this actually isn't that bad. This is just 4 megabytes. This is actually, I'm actually not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about this stuff. 100 something megabytes, 100 something megabytes. Oh well, we'll worry about that stuff later. That's stuff we can deal with. Bryson, does your auto tiler reevaluate every tile, or does it know how to only check the relevant tiles? No, it reevaluates every tile. So, you know, that's definitely something we can improve. For sure. Just have it only reevaluate the difference. Plus anything that could conceivably touch the difference. That would be a good avenue for optimization for sure. We could basically give it, because we know, do we? We could record the boundary of the area that we changed and then just check that area plus 1 in each direction. That'd be pretty good. Maybe we do that and we see if that's enough performance that we can at least forge ahead for now. That's a good idea. As an optimization we can make right now. So what we would need to do is whenever we make a change, we need to record a bounding box. I don't know why I call these bounds. I could just call it box everywhere. I like bounds. I guess I like bounds because it's the same like this coords and it's clearly different. So we need to record the bounds that we're using. Or we need to record what the boundary of all the area of the tiles that we changed. That would be an improvement, even if we're hover. Hey, bad cop, how's it going? You forgot to ask. You forgot if you asked if I'm going to GDC. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. And we're gonna be doing Godot meetup. We're gonna do a Godot meetup the Saturday before and the Saturday after GDC. You're making Practical go? Awesome. I would love to meet Practical. That'd be cool. I didn't know if Practical was local or not. Oh, he's crashing your place? That's awesome. Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm always psyched to go to GDC. I'm a little bummed out that D2 Jam is like the same week, but rip my ability to do D2 Jam this year. I think they didn't think about it, is what they did, which is fair. I think a lot of people basically don't care about GDC or go. I mean, I only go because I'm local, but yeah, they're doing it the 21st. Unfortunate timing. Yeah. Oh no, I already brought it up, bad cop. I already asked them in the feedback channel. I was like, "Can you walk through your reasoning on this cuz it's a little rough for me personally." I would have loved to do it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing events that weekend. Like Friday, I'll still be at GDC. And Saturday, I'll be at the Bay Area Godot meetup. So, I mean, I'm not going to jam there. I mean, I could just like lock myself there all weekend and jam it out, but like, I'm going to be too tired. I know I'm going to be too tired. I am not an extrovert. There is a significant emotional cost for me to interact with people in person. Ad break. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Fusionist. Let's fix that. Let's fix that right now. You got blasted. You got phaser blasted. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to submit to the tile system a boundary every time that there's a change. So how do we know when we run the tile system? Oh, we're just running the tile system every frame. That's also a problem. We need to move that back over here. I don't know why I started doing that. Oh, it's because of camera rotation. Let me see if we can fix that. So when we rotate the camera, we need to redraw the cursor. Those were the craziest ads you saw in a while. Crazy like good crazy, like they're actually doing good work, or crazy like what the F? Crazy like very untargeted. Dang. Well, no, I'm glad to give you the iron badge here. The Iron Iliad badge. I don't remember what the order is. I think I'm on gold right now. You don't own a dog and you're not a yoga mom? No? You're neither of those? We're actually a week away from my my like stream anniversary. From the very first Digital Iliad stream. I looked it up today because I was worried that it had already passed and I didn't notice. But it's next Wednesday. I don't think we're gonna do anything special, but it'll be nice. It'll be a nice little moment to recognize. All right, I'm working on something. What am I working on? Oh yeah, I'm checking to see if the camera rotation, if we're telling how we're telling the game about a camera rotation. Because like we need to. We're calling it in as a twist of the view. Oh yeah, we're calling it orbit now, but I haven't changed the name on the back end. Call it level up and level down, or orbit left and orbit right. On the back end, it's still known as shift and twist, but which I like, but I think orbit is a better description of what's happening. So we enqueue that. And then I'm just going through the lifetime of this edit just to see where we can let the tile system know that they need to do something about this. So it goes through, ends up going through the view system. The view system updates the viewing angle. It outputs a view command. that gets fed back to the Godot side. I don't know why. I don't think we do anything with that. Yeah, we currently don't do anything with that. But maybe we do someday. Right now we call pan viewer left or right, which is not correct. We need to change the terminology. All right, so our opportunity then to let the tile system know about a camera change is gonna be, so here we say game.inputs.edits enqueue edit tool hover. Okay, so we resend a hover command with the current cursor coords. Oh, with the cursor coords from last frame. That's questionable. Oh no, we have to do that because if the cursor coords don't change. But do they not? No, they don't because they're relative. They're camera relative. So if the cursor stays in the same place and the camera moves around, the game does not consider that a new coordinate and won't trigger an update normally. But we'll trigger an update here because we know the camera turned. So oh, here's a problem. We enqueue the command back, but then we enqueue the command.reset. We need to stop doing that. We need to not do the reset here. That's going to break things. We need to only do the reset when we actually go back through everything. For a replay, if we're using the replay functionality. All right, so what we're doing is we're targeting the auto tiler to only update the area that actually is changing or potentially changed. So what we're going to do, so we add a hover. We add a hover command. So whenever we do any kind of tool command, we'll run the tile system, and then what we need to do is we need to mark something in the input. Which is somewhere IO input. So here we have cursor coords. So we need to store an AABB. It needs to be like change bounds or something like that. Bad cop, you love AABBs. I wrote my own, which was like a huge mistake. I wrote my own, which has done nothing but cause me problems. Why are you upset with me? Oh, the double. Oh. You did some stuff with it for your isometric controller? Oh, cool. Yeah, we're doing it for similar reasons. We very often need to refer to a 3D region. Like an integral 3D region of space. Yeah, I didn't use center and extent because I wanted everything to be integer coordinates. And I ended up using like minimum and maximum. Because I wanted to be able to support like even and odd numbered. I don't know. I wanted to do all these things and it didn't seem like I could do it. And now I think I should have just done like a floating point AABB using center plus extent. I guess I didn't really want a concept of center. I wanted to be able to be like off center or something. I don't know. I had all these reasons why I thought I could just write my own, and I ended up writing this horrible thing. Like the way I calculate the center is explicitly wrong, and yet for some reason it's giving the correct behavior when I use it, and I like don't understand some of the things that I'm running into here. But I got some fun stuff, like I can get the non-overlapping area between two, or overlapping area between two AABBs. You can do some fun stuff with it. It's been very helpful, but God, why do I have to reinvent the wheel every time I do something? It'd be one thing if I knew what I was doing. Little Jank still, you stole this from a Reddit thread you found? Oh, let's see. Let's check this out. Oh, this is from Clark the Spark. I saw that, by the way. It looked like that turned out great. Clark the Spark turned out great. I was very amused by it. I don't see any way I could have helped with that. It looks like it turned out amazing. This looks rad. Oh, it's like recursive. That's fun. That's super awesome. Since you said you stole it from Reddit, I'm not ashamed to bookmark this and for later. It just finds an AABB for like a node and its children. That's awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do, so we've got our bounds. So this is the boundary that has changed. This is going to represent the area that's changed. Worst case scenario, when we do a hover, which basically changes it changes two coordinates. We're still going to apply a change bounds because we want to be able to support a hover that uses a selection, which might be larger than one tile, or like multi-tile placement. Multi-block placement. Right now we just use one block placement, but I want to future-proof this to an extent. So whenever we have a tool command, so an eraser call should trigger, an eraser call should also trigger a redraw. Why doesn't it? Oh, it triggers a reveal block at. I guess that's fine. Well, we're toggling it. Oh no, here it is. So then we do a reveal block at, which is the prior chords, and then we either call an erase block at or a place block at. And then so when we do this, so regardless of what we do, we should create an AABB that uses the minimum and maximum point between the coordinates, the current coordinates, and the prior coordinates. And we should just send that off for all of these, right? For an eraser, a toggle, a hover, which is basically a mouse over. So it's like a preview. Bad cop, the foundation of this game is so busted. You copied the main controls code into 3 different scripts. I don't judge. This game, the foundation of this game is also busted. The difference is that that's a game jam, and this is something I'm going to be working on for years. I don't think game jams should have like solid code foundations. I think they should be like the town of Rockridge. They should just be like a facade behind which is nothing but empty space. All right. I'm just making sure that this is true. So we can do this thing. We can do this ABB bounds is new, a new bounds using, and we find the minimum, we find the component-wise minimum between, oh, no, I guess in this case we need to use the anchor coords, not the prior coords, because we want to say everything between the original anchor position when we started a block placement. Because you can basically do, place is my word for click and drag. And so if we do a click and drag, we're not just affecting the prior coords, we're affecting everywhere up to the original anchor. I should probably call it maybe something else than anchor, but it really is an anchor because it's an unmoving point about which we pivot and draw an area. The problem with all your jams, Bad Cop, are like, if you want to continue the game, you need to start over and you're too lazy. Honestly, that's the advice I've gotten every time from anyone who ever talks about continuing to work on a jam game. I think that's just the common wisdom, is that if you want to actually publish a jam game, you should recode it from the ground up. Like, you should not just try to like fix your shit. You should try to just rewrite the whole thing. So I feel like that's common wisdom, but no, I get being too lazy for that. I would be too lazy for that too. If I had a working game and I was like, time to refactor all the code, I would get so bogged down so quickly, which is weird because I feel like it should be easy to completely rewrite a mostly finished game because you know exactly the requirements. But yeah, I couldn't do it. All right, so the place is going to have its own version. So I guess we write our own version of this stuff and then we put it in game.input.changeBounds. So we're going to say, let's just do it here. Instead of trying to do it down at the bottom. Do we do anything down at the bottom of the switch statement? I thought we did. No, I guess we don't. I got to get rid of all these command.resets. And anyway, I should probably just put it at the bottom. Yeah, this is the same line for every case. So let's just throw that down here. Get rid of the reset. The commands are classes, so we can't just reset a command. We just need to record it as is. Especially because we're recording these elsewhere sometimes. Okay, here's the cursor coords. So we record that here, we record that here. We don't record that here. Okay. So similarly, we're going to record. Oh, we're parsing the chords, recording them as their relative position, and then converting them to their absolute state. I need to not call it turn counterclockwise 2. I need to change that to like view relative or view absolute or something like that. Game absolute, I don't know. Call it relative position or absolute position. Hey, Theron Keen, how's it going? How are you doing? We're trying to do some optimization so we can keep testing larger and larger maps. Because I want to get a visibility system that I like when the map is like takes up the whole screen. Because I feel like I was really happy with our visibility system, but only when it was like a tiny diamond in the center of the screen. And I want a system that I like as the map gets bigger and bigger. I don't want to use different systems, obviously. So we need to do some optimization, be able to test that. Or we just need to offload some of this stuff onto a different thread. But we're going to try. Ryson had a really good idea for an optimization that I had forgotten that we needed to do. So we're going to do it. We're going to only update the parts of the tile map that need to be updated. It's going to be, we're just processing like the diffs instead of redoing the whole thing every time. I usually start by just redoing the whole thing every time because that's like easier and usually more robust, but we're now at the point where we need to actually only deal with the differences. And I'm getting distracted. So what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm going to add a... So we're going to say game.input.change bounds is new AABB. And it's going to be vector3i.minimum between prior coords and coords. Have we not defined coords? Oh, we can't just do coords. It needs to be... Oh, actually, it's the same. It's the minimum of... Do I have a version of... No, I'm just going to pass prior coords twice. And by twice, I mean once, because I can do that, right? So I have a constructor that takes one coord. I do, look at me. I don't know why I call this origin. I should just call it point. It's a single point. Maybe I just call it coords. That's 10. I don't use point usually. I use coords. Which I should maybe stop doing because I don't like coords because you can't tell if you're talking about one vector or like a set of vectors when you just call them coords. I should move away from using that term. Because I've a couple times run into a point where I've like been confused by that. I don't know why I use prior coords. I could also use game.input.cursor coords instead of prior coords. Instead of locally storing the prior coords, probably should move away from that. I guess there's a possibility that the game.input.cursor coords get desynchronized from this. So maybe it is good for the system to record its own set of prior coordinates. All right, and we just throw this in a bunch of places. So on hover, this is where we go. Vector3i.min prior coords and coords. As well as a max. You know, it'd be cool maybe if I didn't have to do this. It'd be kind of cool if the AABB, if you just passed two sets of coordinates into the AABB and it on its own did this min max thing. So that it's like, it doesn't presume that you've passed it well-formed data. So like if you pass it poorly formed data, it like corrects it for you. I don't know. I actually don't know what's better. Is to presume that the data is well formed or presume that the data is badly formed and fix it. Probably the latter, knowing me. I think that'd be kind of good. Then we just update the constructor. We already have an explicit constructor. We could just say this dot minimum equals vector3i dot min. Oh, I guess right now we actually have a check that if the minimum is greater than the maximum, we throw an error. So we're at least checking, but it would be kind of fun to just not worry about it and just be like, do this instead. Because sometimes I pass in two coordinates and I kind of just want to figure out what the minimum and the maximum is. I don't really want to have to think about it. I don't know. I see arguments for both. Okay, and then down here, we're going to do the same thing. It's still a problem that we don't do anything on the begin step of a placement. We only do things on the continue step. We need to address this. but not now. Probably the next time I remember about it. And then here, instead of prior chords, we're going to use anchor chords. Ryson, coord is a singular coordinate. Yeah, but so then coord is X or Y or Z. So I like using the term coords to refer to like a vector. But then if I'm like referring to like a collection of vectors, I need to come up with a different term. So I don't know. If I just referred to a vector as a point or something like that, or direction or whatever, then if I'm referring to multiple ones, I can just say points or directions or vectors. I could just call them vector. But when you call them coords and then you want to refer to a set of them, you have to use a different word. And I don't like that. I know it's maybe bad form to just add an S on the end of a variable and be referring to something else because it's kind of hard to spot. It's hard to debug sometimes, but from a simplicity standpoint, I like it. Bad cop. So GDC is a month away. Maybe you should use that as a deadline to make a new game. Yeah. Don't tell me it's a month away. It's at least 6 weeks away, right? No, it's like 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's less than 6 weeks away. I have so much stuff I need to do at my day job to prepare to just take a week off of work. It's like not funny. There's so many automations and stuff that I need to document and like give people access to. And there's a lot of bug fixes that like I just know the workaround to, but like I can't be making someone else do the workaround. I need to actually fix the issue. There's just so many things I need to do to be able to take time off of work, and I haven't done any of them. All right, so this should give us the change bounds every time we actually make a change. Oh, we need to do the same thing here. I should have just a swap block at, which does like a reveal and a place whenever the chords are the same. I also need to stop using this version of this. It's like I'm passing the buffer in here to this one because it takes a span. But then when I do the follow-up, I get the span again. Damn it. Deprecate in favor of erase blocks in, or place blocks in. Yeah, I need to do that. I need to deprecate this. What the fuck? I have a job? Yeah, I have a job. You thought I was cool? No, I'm very much not cool. If I didn't have a job, I would be so stressed about this game. I would not be lackadaisically just working on it every day for a few hours. I mean, and I live in San Francisco. If I didn't have a job, I would be homeless in like a month. Even with a job, it's not like guaranteed, right? Like, all right. Did I break everything? I mean, I didn't break anything, hopefully. All right, so now we have our change bounds. So now in the tile system, what we want to do is we only want to update the change bounds. So how are we going to do that? Yeah, you should probably get some money. It is good to have. San Francisco do be burning a hole in your pocket. Do you not have a job right now? Didn't you have a job last time I talked to you? Which if you don't, condolences. Oh, you quit. Okay. Well, at least you quit. At least you weren't laid off. I feel like everyone I know is getting laid off right now. You quit back in October. That's pretty baller, actually. I have dreams of quitting my job, but I would never do it. Too much of a coward. All right, so instead of looping through every single area, we need to loop through... Well, we could do this a few different ways. We could take advantage of the AABB's enumerable and just iterate through that. Probably the easiest thing to do. I mean, that would reduce the amount of stuff that we did a lot. And then we would only... Oh, but we need to loop through +1 and -1 on each side. So we need to actually... So how should I do that part? I also am concerned that I actually can't predict how far a tile change propagates. You quit in like 2022, but you worked for 6 months last year. You didn't like it still. I get that. Yeah, I'm wondering about... Because like if we update a tile, that tile in our current system, that tile will just affect the tile next to it and above it and below it and stuff. But like I feel like someday soon, changing a tile could change not just the tile next to it, but like the tile next to that and the tile next to that. But that doesn't matter right now, so we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to worry about a problem that we could have. What I do need to do is get a new AABB. So what we should do is we're going to say, so in the tile system, we're going to get an AABB. We're going to say AABB change bounds is new AABB. Bad cop, you're tragically not rich enough to never work again. I know. That is truly tragic. I feel the tragedy as well. I would love to never work again. So we're going to say new, and we're going to just say, we're going to do this really stupidly. We're going to do game.input.changeBounds.minimum minus vector3i.1. We're going to do game.input.changeBounds.maximum plus vector3i.1. This is fine because like we have like boundary checks that we're doing. So like, I don't care. This is what we're gonna do just to get a buffer. And then later on, maybe we'll have some kind of cool system that like dynamically increases the margins or decreases it based on something. Or maybe we'll even have like, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. I don't know what we're going to do now, let alone what we're going to do in the future. All right, so we're going to try to do this as an iteration. So we're going to say for each variable coords, we're going to say for each vector 3i coords in change bounds. We use coords later. Now's our chance. Now's our chance to call it block, I guess. I don't know. For each block in the change bounds. I could also have called this changed blocks or something. I don't know. So for each one of these, we're not going to do this by area. So this is our start and our end. So we go through each area and then we go through each layer. We go from start to end. We don't need to do that. I'm going to attempt to copy this over. So for each block, we just need to run through each layer. That's currently what we're going to do. We don't need to worry about the loop. I can break the loop. Since we're just trying it this way, I'm going to do the horrible thing and copy all of this over. Actually, I don't need to do that. What I could do instead is just say, copy all of this, or I could comment out all this stuff. Then we comment out this stuff. No, I don't want to do it this way. I was like, I could do this in situ. I could do this like in place, but I don't want to do it in place. I want to just have a copy that works this other way. Because it's going to be too annoying to do it the other way. Especially because I've already unrolled the layers and that's already like a huge pain. Or it's already way longer than it needs to be, but it is straightforward this way. So now what we do is we get rid of the loops. What we do need to do is we need to declare all of these variables at the top. We need to get rid of every reference of I. What we should do is we should figure out our index. So integer, I could just say I equals span, read-only span. Is it the read-only span? No, it's the block buffer. So block buffer dot get core. Well, we'd say, we're going to say if block buffer dot contains. We're gonna say if the block buffer doesn't contain this block, we're just gonna continue. Because it's very possible that we're gonna call a block outside of the change bounds are being manipulated. Minimum -1 and maximum +1. It's very possible that we bust that. So we want to do this in a safer way. So if that's so, we'll do one containment check right at the top and just continue. Otherwise, we'll say I equals block buffer dot get index block. Let's get rid of these conflicting. Oh, we need a haul. Oh, we need to declare all of these. What else do we got? This we don't need to worry about. That we can keep there. Door tile. Okay, all the stuff for Z we can keep separate. And then down here we have, oh wait, can we? No, we cannot. And then the rest of this goes off of this set. So actually we only need to make a change to the initial hull check. If block buffer contains coords, vector 3 coords, cursor coords. Okay. Cutaway system should work fine. Okay, everything else operates off of a dictionary. So that's already, as long as we can call the number of entries in the dictionary significantly. And also the number of areas under consideration here. Okay, I do foresee a problem. But we can work around it. There is a very specific reason why we're regenerating the whole tile map every time. And that's because we aren't storing the tile map anywhere. YouTube chat disconnected? Like from me? I guess no one's been talking. From my standpoint, no one's been chatting with me for a while, so that's unfortunate. YouTube's also telling me my audio stream's bitrate is trash, which I feel like is untrue, but I also can't hear myself, so. And every time I ask people about it, they're like, the bitrate's fine. All right, so here's the real problem with doing it this other way. Is that we're regenerating the tile map every time. We're not storing it anywhere. So we basically need to store it. If we're going to only update the differences, we need to store the actual tile map somewhere. Or we're only going to push the differences to the tile map on the Godot side. So let's do this part first, and then we can address that problem. We can figure out. I mean, for now we only have one entity, so we can just store the tile data as like a dictionary on the tile system. But that will become untenable very quickly. Although maybe not. Maybe that's actually not untenable, because then we just dump the tile data when an object goes out of is no longer needs to be rendered. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we want to store that. Bryson, to you, coord is anything that wholly specifies a single position or something. That could be 1D, 2D, or 3D, as long as it is a position. Hey, it's Cyberus. How is it going? I feel like I'm an overly literal person, right? Right, Bryson? So, like, to me, coordinate means like it's a number that gets its meaning from the other numbers that it's with. So like a vector 3 has 3 coordinates together with which you can determine a point. So I would never refer to like a vector 3 as a single coordinate. But I don't know, maybe that's me misinterpreting the word ordinate. Been a bit? Okay. Yeah, we're doing okay, Cyberus. We've scaled up a lot. I'll kind of show you what we've been working on. We've been testing our visibility system at larger scales. So we're trying to implement some optimizations. I don't think anything I did would break anything, but we'll see. Because we've got this large area and we're working on, so we've got our like cutaway system. And we're trying out this cutaway system, which is this kind of, you keep seeing, it kind of carves out a region underneath your mouse. We've tried some other stuff recently the last few days. We've been trying like a layer cake thing where you like slice off the layers on top. But I keep coming back to this way of doing it so that like you can kind of see. I kind of like this because you can see everything. So like if let's actually do this correctly here. Oh, I can no longer operate across a 3D. I need to fix that. I ruined my ability to carve space out over a 3D volume. I can only carve space out in a 2D area at a time. Why is the floor missing up here? A little weird. Can I not? There we go. So yeah, so we have this cutaway system that's meant to make it so that you can kind of see further down into the ship without removing the other layers of the ship. And so we're experimenting with that on a large scale with like larger build areas. So we're experimenting with this stuff. We've also got camera rotation back in, so we can rotate the whole thing. It looks terrible right now, but that's because we're trying to experiment with some stuff. How are you doing? How's it been? No, I think we have the same definition of coordinate, Ryson. I'm just saying I would never refer to a vector 3 as a single coordinate. But maybe that's not accurate in math, in the mathematical definition of it. Show me coordinate as a verb. I like looked up the word and it was like, here's what it means. Or I want it as a noun. They're like, here's what it means. So it comes from something that means of the same rank or place in the same rank. So yeah, to me, a coordinate is like X or Y or Z. And then a vector is all the coordinates together. But whatever is most intuitive to you is what you should do. Like, we don't need to agree on that. I was just thinking about how I don't like using the word I do like using the word coords to refer to a vector, but it's confusing because then I need to switch to a different word if I'm referring to multiple vectors. Unlike if I have like a door, I can have one door and then multiple doors can be doors. But if I have one vector and I call it coords and then I refer to multiple vectors, I can't also call it coords or coordses. It's Cyberus. You're doing all right. You're finally getting on some coding things you've needed to do for a while. Hell yeah. Nice to get back to that. Nice to find the time. All right, so what we're doing at the moment is we're trying to optimize our tile system so that it only updates the section of the tile map that is actually changed. And we're hoping that saves us quite a few cycles here. It does mean we need to do a bunch of stuff. I need to get rid of all these declarations. Okay, so wait, this is the area that I copied and pasted. Okay, and then this is the area that we're going to comment out because we're already doing it above. All right, and then let's just hide it for now. We have to declare a region to copy it, to collapse it. I'm used to just being able to, okay, there we go. Like I'm used to just being able to collapse everything within the commented area. And that is what we can do, and is what we did. And as it is such, as it is also such unto you. No, that's not right. And as it is such, so also is it as such unto you. God, that's hard to say. All right, so we're getting rid of this loop. So we're going to keep getting rid of these loops because now we're doing it per block. I don't want to add some space between these sections. Do I need to declare the hull? Is it not? Is there a potential for it not to be assigned? If, else, if, else. No, this is always assigned. We'll see if it complains at me later. God, I'm tired today. I don't know why. I didn't even like stay up late. I had some coffee with breakfast, but I feel like it's wearing off. I don't think tonight's gonna be an early night. So like the latest Helldivers 2 Warbond came out today, so I think I'm gonna be playing a bit of Helldivers this evening, if you know what I mean. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why if I added that at the end. That's not like playing Helldivers as a euphemism for anything. All right. Okay, so this seems to be fine. Doesn't seem to be upset about my redeclaring. Oh, have I not actually finished everything? Oh no, I did. Oh, we're only doing this for doors. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Tight. What's this? Joint declaration and assignment. What does that mean? Joint local variable declaration and assignment. Oh, join local variable declaration and assignment. No, we can't do that. Oh, unless you want me to just declare it the first time it's used. I guess I could do that. Okay, but you don't want me to do this either? Okay. Whatever, who cares? So yeah, you just want me to do the declaration down in the first layer. I'm okay with that. Weirdly, I feel like that's all the change we need to make here. So instead of doing it for each area, for each layer, instead of doing this big iteration, we're just we're grabbing each block within the boundaries that have changed. The boundary of what has changed. And then we go through and so that just adds to this hulls dictionary. And then what we do, this determines all the hull types. That's why we call it hulls. So this spits out all the hull types for all the blocks for each tile layer. Because each block can have multiple hull types depending on what tile we're talking about and what the neighbors look like. Neighboring blocks look like. So we declare all of those. And we only put those in the hull tile. So then so every pass beyond this only checks that. But now we have an integration problem. Because now we need to, basically we need to store this hull and tile data. We need to integrate this data together. What does cutaways do? Does cutaways also only look at hull data? Because that's not good. It does. That is not what we want. Oh, wait, it looks at, okay, so we need to make a distinction here. So right now we have the member variable of hulls. We need a new local only one. So we need to say like, so the cutaways needs to be reset every time. But hulls instead clearing. How are we going to do this? We basically need to iterate through every block in the change, or we need to iterate through every set of coordinates in the change bounds again. And if it doesn't exist anymore, if the block doesn't exist anymore, but it exists in the hulls for the tiles. Okay. We'll need to go through each layer again, and if it doesn't exist, we need to delete it, basically. I guess we could do that now. Basically need to integrate our new data with our old data, which we now need to keep around. Because we need to know what the tile data was for the area that didn't change. I guess that's trivial. That should be relatively trivial. Okay. Okay. So instead of clearing this every time, we're going to have cutaway data does need to be changed every time. Maybe not. Maybe we can optimize the cutaway data, but I don't want to think about that right now. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to say variable hulls equals a new dictionary vector 4i whole. Say variable tiles. Yep, we're going to do that. We're going to get rid of all of these references to the member variable. Love syntax coloring to help me with that here. Thank you, syntax coloring. I know my syntax coloring is like kind of over the top. But sometimes it's useful. Doors. I guess we technically need to do this for doors as well. Door.tile. Okay, so now we have our data for this frame. So we only need to, so the cutaway system still needs to consider, yeah, the cutaway system is still going to do its thing, and it needs to. Okay, so we need to do the integration step now or not now? When do we need to integrate the diffs with the overall, with the total set of data? Obviously, we need to do it before we pass the tile data to the tile map. We can do it, in one sense, we can do it after we set up all of the, after we configure all of the Atlas chords and source ID and stuff. So for this one, we're going to, instead of key and hulls, what we're going to say in hulls the member variable, we're going to use the local variable. Because we only need to set up tile data for tiles that have changed. That makes sense. And technically, if they haven't changed, we don't actually need to do this, but I can't be bothered. I mean, we could compare the entry in the member variable with the entry in the local variable and see if they're different. But for now, let's not worry about that. That doesn't feel like significantly more work or less work than this. I don't think that's like where the optimization gain is to be had. Oh, this sucks. I'm making changes to this, and this is not going to be easy to change back. I mean, it is going to be easy, but it's going to be tedious to change back. Do we have any other references to the hulls? Yeah, here we go, doors. So we need to change this to doors. Doors. I really need to make this like a helper function. This like vector 3 to turn counterclockwise to the viewing angle based on this. This almost needs to be a helper function within the buffer, within the bounding blocks that does it. So you need to like pass this vector to the buffer and then tell us that you want a view relative version of it. Or you want a game absolute or something like that. Absolute to relative or relative to absolute. Or you could even just say relative. Yeah, we could add that. We could add that to the AABB. So it would be like public vector 3i absolute. to absolute. We could say absolute position. We could also say local position. That kind of is what we're getting. Like, what's its position, not assuming a rotation? I guess both of them are local positions, though. What we're really saying, let's just call it to absolute. I don't know. I don't like that term. Absolute and relative are confusing to me in this context. We're basically talking about the position in the AABB without rotation. But I guess we can't get it without rotation because we don't know if it's been rotated. Actually, I guess we do know if it's been rotated because we know what the current camera view is. So we could just unapply the rotation. I'm allowing myself to get distracted by this minor refactoring I want to do that I don't need to do right now. And that's game dev. That's game dev. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make our tile system more efficient by only processing the differences and not reprocessing the entire tile map every single time. We're not going to be able to do that kind of optimization for the flood fill because a single change in the flood fill could affect like literally every other block. Like if you crack open a hole in a big container, I guess all it could affect is that area, that compartment. So maybe we just need to recalculate. Maybe we send the change bounds, then we check which compartments are within the change bounds. That'll work for rooms. That's going to be a little janky when we talk about hallways. If you have like a snaky hallway that doesn't have doors. I mean, I guess most hallways are going to have multiple sets of doors for both gameplay reasons and to like be annoying, which is a gameplay reason in my mind. To be both helpful and annoying, there should be like a hallway should have multiple sets of blast doors. I wonder if a lot of the slowdown I'm seeing is just the garbage collector because of all these fucking bullshit allocations I'm making because I don't know what I'm doing. Collection access type, updated content, add range. So when we add this range, allocating a bunch of data, adds the elements of the specified collection to the end of the list. Yeah, it's because we're doing this all as one big old list. There's got to be a better way to do this. Where I like get a span at the beginning, work in the span, and then copy the span to an array at the end. And then we're just paying that one price of getting the, I guess here it's because it's a list and I like don't know how long the list is going to be, but I should know. I'm doing a count here. I am counting this. So if I'm bothering to count this, I should be able to do this in a more efficient way. For each tile in tiles.values, data. Is it because I'm storing this? I have different layers. Oh, yeah. Right. I would need to be able to guarantee that I'm going layer by layer. And there's probably a way to do that by sorting the values. Like we take the whole values collection and we sort. And the way we sort is we actually sort from the highest dimension. So like all the W's will be first. Like everything will be sorted by W's. But are we also then sorting by Z's if we do that? I actually don't know how many ways we're sorting. But I guess that's fine because actually we just need to sort by W. We actually don't need to sort. W is our layer and Z is like what Z index we're at. No, we need both. We need to sort by both. That's fine. You can sort by two things. We just need to sort by W and then Z. And actually our system should do that. Because our vector is supposed to sort by the way we wrote our sorting comparison operator for our vectors. We should sort by highest, by each successively highest dimension from the high to low rather than from low to high. That should work, maybe? We're going to have to test that out. I'm just thinking about how we can do all of this with like one span instead of having this like what I'm doing now, which is like trash, which is like a dictionary of lists. Because I'm searching through this dictionary, this value collection randomly. So I can't guarantee that I'm only processing one layer at a time. But if I can guarantee that I'm going layer by layer and adding these, we can just declare an array up front, access it as a span. I mean, we don't need to do the as span part, but I kind of like that part. And then go through it. Okay, and that will solve some of these huge allocations that we're doing. Then we don't even need to do this part, which is this pack data dot add range, and then like all of this stuff. This will already be sorted in order. Okay, so we can fix all of this. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Make this part less trash. This like final process where we like get all of our data together so we can marshal it back to the Godot side. But first things first, we have to do the rest of this. So where are we going to do the integration? Where are we going to integrate the changed data with the unchanged data? We can do it after we set all the tile data, like the atlas coordinates and stuff. But the thing is, we're actually using the cutaway system. The cutaway system needs to know about all of it. So we kind of need to do it before. I guess that's actually fine. We can integrate the change data with the old data before we do the cutaway part, which is like determining how we carve out space for the visibility system. And then when we set the tile data, we can still use the change data. We can use the change data after it's been integrated with the unchanged data. The unchanged data is being stored. All of that's being stored together in this separate member variable. So that's fine. I should probably not declare these every run. I should probably just make this another member variable. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Garbage collector will have its day either way. Every garbage collector has its day, as they say. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to... So here's the second pass for this stuff. Where's the cutaway system? The cutaway system after this? No way. Oh, did I comment out the cutaway system on accident? I totally did. Oopsies. Ooh, it sounds like it's raining outside. That's like the most like healing, like wonderful sound to me. Love that sound. I feel like I live in the wrong city for that sound nowadays. Although it's been raining a lot lately, which I do enjoy a lot. I feel like I'm meant to be in like Seattle or somewhere. Somewhere it rains like all the time. I also don't have to go outside very often. Important caveat. All right, sorry, I got distracted for a second. I swear I'm concentrating. I'm concentrating on concentrating. All right, so we've decided before we do the cutaway, we're going to integrate the change data with the unchanged data. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to iterate through. Can we just do it now? Can we do it? Can we set the new data and integrate it at the same time? Is there a reason we would need to? No, we don't reference. We only assign to this. We don't reference it. We're not reading and writing it during this path. We're just writing, right? Am I crazy? It looks like we're only assigning to it. I don't see any reading. Nope. Okay, good. Okay, so we're safe to actually, at the end of each of these steps. So here what we do is we say if block buffer doesn't contain block. So what if, okay, here we have a bunch of continues. So we actually need to add to this step. So we say like if the read-only span I doesn't have this block, or if this read-only span I here doesn't have this block, then what we want to do is we want to say, we don't want to just continue. First, we want to say if, is there a try remove? Calls dot try, no. There's try add and try get. No. So we want to say if halls dot, what is it? Is it has or is it contains? Contain, oh. Contains key. So if this has the key, which is vector 4i block 0. Why are you complaining to me? Return value of pure method is not used. Oh, we're going to say if holds.contains key. So if the span doesn't have this, if this span doesn't have it, so if this block either doesn't exist or doesn't have this form anymore, but it's listed in the halls, then we want to remove it. And then continue. But we're going to continue either way. But if it has it, we're going to... It'd be nice if there was a try remove. Do not guard dictionary.remove key with dictionary.contains key. Okay, what is your suggestion? What do you want me to do? You want me to just do the... What is remove? Is remove safe? Removes the key. Returns true if the element is successfully found and removed. Otherwise false. Oh, this is already... Remove is already a try remove. Oh. Cool. I totally knew that. I don't know why it's not called try remove when that's what it's doing. Okay, so now we're just going to do this everywhere. You know, instead of having a dictionary entry for every single layer for each block, I feel like it would be better to just have one entry per block and then just have a value in that entry for each side. This has the advantage of we only store the values that are like visible. We don't store all 6 values. We only store 3 or whatever. Well, instead of all 6 sides being stored, we only store 3. And that makes sense during the editor, in the editing process, but maybe that doesn't make sense in the play process because those holds don't change outside of the editor process. So maybe we need to find a way of storing this data more permanently when we're not in an editing context. The data doesn't really change. All right, so I'm glad we can do this without making another pass. I'm glad we can just do this here. This is going to be 3. Or 5. Well, hold on. This can't actually be a continue because we're not looping anymore. This actually needs to be a series of if-else statements. Oops. That's fine. Glad I spotted that, at least. Wish I'd spotted it earlier, to be honest. So if it doesn't have this layer. We just remove it. Otherwise, we're going to process it and add it to both, I guess. Actually, we don't need to do that, do we? Wow, we're really changing the way this is going to work. Some regrets. Some regrets. So instead of iterating through every key here, we're just going to iterate through the boundaries again and then go for each layer. That's what we're going to do. So instead of a switch here, it'll just be another, we'll just do all of these. Or we'll do an if it has check. Okay. I'm going to add these references back here. That's actually good if we don't need to like reset the dictionary or if we don't need a local dictionary every single time we do this. Can actually just work with the integrate with the one dictionary. I'm going to point this back to the member variable again instead of the local variable. I'm probably going to miss a spot, which is why I was loath to do this in the first place. We can actually get rid of these. I think we can get rid of these. I'm not sure about the doors. Let's presume that we don't need these. Oh, hold on a second. Hold the phone. Is change bounds a relative coordinate? Or is it absolute? It's probably absolute, right? I think it is because it's being set by the tool system, and I think the tool system only operates on absolute coordinates. Yeah, okay. Cool. The cursor coordinates are relative. I see. Okay, but change bounds is going to be absolute coordinates. So like not relative to the view, the camera view. That's good, probably. Anchor coordinates is also absolute. Yes, okay. Cool. Okay, that's fine. So it's not continue. It's else. Oh, great. Now we need to declare all these variables again. Unless I do what I wanted to do, which was declare them at the top. Practical NPC with the raid. Oh my gosh. Red alert. We've got a raid. They're coming in. They're coming in hot. Raise the shields. Do whatever other stuff is appropriate for red alert. Hey, Practical. How's it going? What a coinkadink. I actually just heard that you might be at GDC. And that would be exciting. It would be exciting to both be at GDC. How's it going? How's it going, Raiders? Welcome in. I'm trying to undo all the horrible things I was working on for the last hour or two very quickly, just so that we can show what we've been working on, what we've got, how it's going, how it's been, and how it's going. I think I undid most of the damage. How's it going, everybody? What a coincidence. You heard the same thing about me. Oh, there's Bad Cop coming in. Sydney Just, hello, aloha on the YouTube side. Hello, Raiders. I'm Digital Iliad. We are working on like an FTL-like, like an isometric 3D FTL-like. We're trying some different stuff. We've been working on how to address the core visibility problem of making like a 3D stackable FTL style game. So we've been working on that challenge. We've been trying some different visibility stuff. Please tell me I didn't break anything. So we can do things like, I need to tone down this. So we can make these 3D objects here. We can just be like, here's a layer. Let's go down one. Here's another layer. Go down again. So we're working on a system to both make and then navigate these 3D spaces. So I'm making a bunch of them. Right now we're just making like a solid block, but it will make sense soon. So let's hollow out some of these rooms here. We're trying some different stuff out. This is the visibility system we're currently trying out, which is kind of like onion peeling thing, which I think is kind of cool. So now we can go down, we can cut into this shape. We could keep laying out some rooms and stuff. We've got some cool stuff that we just re-implemented. Like we can basically rotate the whole tile map, which is not easy. Kind of pivoting around because I drew it off center. I need to actually change the system so that it knows what its actual center is based on what's being used, and just do that. But yeah, we're trying to we've been working on some optimizations today because these tile maps are getting big enough where processing the auto tiler is taking a little bit of time. So we've been trying to work on that. You love it? Thanks, Practical. We've tried some different stuff. The thing I tried just before this, and also after this, because we've kind of come back to this, is we were trying to like slice the layers off the top. Like you'd slice the top layer and then the next layer and then the next layer. And I kind of liked that in a way, but what I didn't like about it was like you didn't get to retain, like this is just a boring cube, but like imagine it actually had stuff like engines and weapons and like a paint job and all this cool stuff. If you're just slicing like whole layers off like this, and you go down and you slice another whole layer off and then like another whole layer off, you don't see that. You just see the layer you're working on. So like I like this as an alternative to that, where you can kind of see how far into it you've peeled. I don't know, we're trying some different stuff out. I kind of like this. But yeah. I don't know. There's no qualifier for that. I kind of like it. We're just trying to make it usable. So we've been increasing the size of the map that we generate, or the area that we can build into. And we've been trying different processes on that, and we've kind of reached a performance limit because we're running the whole auto tiler on the main thread. So we're doing some optimizations. We'll probably just shove the whole thing onto a different thread, and give it a few frames to run. Then I just need to add some sync points and stuff. So there's some stuff we need to do, but I want to try an even bigger build area than this. Like this you can still see the whole thing on screen. It's a 32 by 32 grid that's like stacked 4 times. I want to try like a 64 by 64. I want it to be so big that you need to like pan the camera around to see it all. I just need to do some performance modifications to make that like doable. Practical, you think you remember The Sims had an option for you to select whatever perspective you want? I'll probably add some options because that's probably smart. Where like if you're on a floor, yeah, I should probably add some possibilities where you could have this mode, or you could have the like slice the layers off if you want, if you prefer that. Because the nice thing about the slice the layers off, you can just see everything. I don't know. But you can also just do this and then you see everything. So yeah, I'll probably need to add some variety where like you can do full wall, half wall, or like, I mean, you need some level of cutaway. But yeah, we should add some player choice to it. That would be good. I also need to address what happens when you get to the edge like this. More options is better, and Lord knows I've tried a bunch of different ways to do that, so I feel like we could implement more than one of them. Right now, they're kind of mutually exclusive, so we're not able to do that. But thanks for the raid. If you need to go, I don't know if you ever do anything off stream. I feel like streaming 24/7, so I feel like I'm honored that you actually stopped streaming long enough to raid me. And thanks for checking out the stream raiders. And if you need to, head out, no worries. You're chilling? All right. I'll probably be chilling for a bit here. Probably need to wrap up in like 40 minutes, but we're gonna keep working. We're gonna see if we can get this optimization to work and not break everything. I heard the next solo dev is going to be like a month long. That's kind of awesome. I'd basically get nothing else done for a month. Could be maybe a problem for me. But that's impressive. That you could submit this game. I've been working on it for more than a month, but yeah. We're actually next week is the 1 year anniversary of me working on this game on stream. Which is wild. All right, so let's keep working through here. No, you're serious. It's a jam to work on your main project. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I'm still working on tools, but I think that's really cool. Like, there's no game here. Maybe I don't need a game. Maybe I just need to tighten this up and add some variety and just turn it into one of those microcosmic games where you're just like building up a house or whatever. Those things are doing gangbusters. Maybe I don't even need a game. Maybe I just need Spaceship Builder, the game. Maybe there's nothing you do with the spaceship. Maybe you just build the spaceship and watch it. Maybe there's an intermediate title here somewhere, a possibility. You've had some submissions like that, just proof of concept? Okay. I'll have to look into that. I mean, getting more eyes on a project is always good. Definitely. Most of my best ideas certainly haven't come from people in the chat. It's free marketing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. I always panic like the month or two before GDC that I don't have anything to show at GDC, and then I'm like, well, what would I even show? Like, even if I had some more of this game done, like maybe next year. It just feels like less of a great place to show a game to people that you just meet at unless you can just whip out your Steam Deck and you can just and then people can like play the game. Like, I guess is probably what you can do. You've gone before? Oh yeah, yeah. I've lived in San Francisco for many, many, many years, so I kind of just pay the local. I just buy the ticket and I just like bust down for the day. Huh. How is there a path here where Hall doesn't get assigned? That's concerning. If, okay, if. So does not all of these lead to an assignment? No, it doesn't, because if this, so if the block op X, you're bringing a Steam Deck, we can share. You want to show some people? No, I have a Steam Deck. I have a Steam Deck. Don't worry. I don't feel like this is I want to work really hard to make this game work on a Steam Deck. I mean, maybe I can just show people like the tile editor stuff. I'm concerned this won't be a great Steam Deck game, but I'm working really hard to make that the case. I'm trying to think about joystick controls from the beginning. But I just feel like whenever I go to GDC, I'm like, I just have a pile of features that's not a game. But I always meet really cool people and I always hang out and I enjoy it a lot. I think it's great. Even just hanging out in Yerba Buena Park is like a good time. Is this gonna be your first GDC? Meow Mew Lemieux. What is a game but a miserable pile of features? Tosses wine cup. Yeah, exactly. Good to see you. Meow Meow. It's been a minute. First ever? Hell yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Because I feel like it's just now recovering from like the weird pandemic era. Like it's still kind of rough in terms of like the number of like Web3 and like blockchain like vendors and people you get sucked into talking to because they like ambush you and like you can't unless you can instantly tell like that's what they're doing. You end up getting stuck in a 10-minute conversation about blockchain or generative AI and you're like, please kill me. But it's a great scene. It's fun. I enjoy it. People get down on downtown on like Soma and downtown San Francisco, but I still love just being around there. So what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I was addressing the fact that not all code paths actually assign this value. Why the F did I format this way? This feels so unreadable. Because I need to change some of these long ass functions. This just needs to be a helper function that just says like to relative. I'll do that. I'll do that soon. That is a lot of nesting. Yeah, it's not great. It used to be more nesting, but we've actually separated each major case, which is like what layer we're working on. We've separated it out. So it's honestly less nesting than it was before. I don't understand what value this should be in the other case. So if it has a deck or it's empty, then we check to see if it's outside. Otherwise, what do we do? So we're checking our opposite block. I don't know what the other case should be. I'm just going to like not worry about that. Oh no, I have to worry about that. At the top here, I'm just going to say hull equals default and not worry about it. You're excited but also intimidated, but you grew up in a city, so you're used to it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good scene. The whole thing, like every event happens within like a few blocks of the Moscone Center anyway. And you'll have Bad Cop there who can just like, you know, club the knees of anyone giving you trouble. Yamu, hey, as long as it's running at 60 FPS, no one will complain. That's what we're addressing right now. That's something we're optimizing right now. We're speeding up my auto tiler a little bit. Practical, I feel like you're one of the only people that works on auto tilers as much as I do. I always look over and watch your stream and I'm like, oh, another day of auto tiling. Here we go. Let's do it. People are like, oh, can you release this as like a tool for isometric auto tiling? And I'm like, this is such a pile of cards that only applies to my use case. This would be so useless for anyone else. So the answer is usually no. But I do feel like Godot could improve its auto tiling, especially its isometric auto tiling. All right, where are we? We're on layer 6. Okay. Holes. Dot remove. Yep. No, not 5. 6. Else. Yikes. Okay, I think that's all the layers. Let's see what's going on down here now. Why have you lost your mind? Oh, is it this? Oh, Jesus. Where did this closing bracket come from? Oh, that's my bad. Practical, you started exporting yours as PNGs since you just have way too many layers. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's part of the goal of this system. And it kind of sucks because I'm already up to 7 layers per level. And like, right now, each layer only really references like a couple other layers, but like the system can handle like an arbitrary number of references. So like one layer might reference like 2 or 3 other layers, and another layer might only care about one, but it's like different ones. And it's like, yeah, this whole horrible thing, which is why I've written each layer out as like a separate case just to keep it straight. And like some of the layers are just these nightmares. Like the door layer is like so much more logic to it than the other layers. And I'm just going to keep adding more layers. So I'm like, I tried to interweave them before where like you'd figure out kind of intuitively what layer you were talking about and then like which layer applied, and like it was cool, but yeah, it got so complicated. So I've just split all of the layers out into their own case just to keep track of it all. Getting out of hand. Yeah, most auto tilers can handle like 2 or 3 layers. As soon as you get more than that, and as soon as they reference more than one other layer, it gets so complicated so quickly. Crazy. All right, so I've swapped out this old version, which figures out what hull color we want. Right now it's just a color, but eventually it'll be like a class, like a whole type. And then what we need to do, so we're integrating as we go along, aren't we? That's like part of the way I did this. So we're trying to only update the parts of the tile map that have actually changed. Before we were just, as if there was any changed anywhere on the tile map, we were generating the whole thing, which is obviously like unsustainable. And so we're just changing it so now we only update the diffs. And what we're going to do is we're going to integrate the diffs as we go along so that we can operate on all of it on the next step. All right, so then the next step is the cutaway system, which works on all of it. Let's collapse some of this insanity. Tricky lady, welcome in. You're not late. You arrived precisely when you meant to. Welcome in. We're working. If you were hoping to see someone do something other than auto tiling, you'd be disappointed. Because we're just auto tiling. You got challenged to try to make vegan mozzarella sticks. The second wave of the raid. Yeah, I love to see. I love how a big raid works like that, where you just have waves of the lurkers that come back and are like, who the F am I listening to right now? This doesn't sound like my beloved streamer. I love people that end up like riding the raid waves like multiple layers. They're like, this is my 3rd wave of the day. They're like, I just clicked one channel in the morning and we've just been letting it ride. What a way to live. Very chill. All right, so the second pass is where we do source ID, atlas coords, alternative tiles, and stuff like that. We want to do the cutaway stuff before. And the cutaway stuff, actually, we don't want this cutaway system to change. This is actually one thing that we need to update all of no matter what. What we need to do, though, get rid of these clears that I put in here. We do still want the cutaway clear. I should call those cuts or something. Cutaways, but... Practical, you once had a raid train lead back to your own stream the next day? That's insane. I believe it, though. I believe it. I've raided back to the person that raided me before. That's happened. That was fun. I think it was like IRAD. I think like IRAD raided me, and then like a few hours later, I just raided IRAD back. Because they're online like all the time. I think they just took like a lunch break or something. I do enjoy that. All right, so the cutaway system should work as is. This is like very simple. Shouldn't need any updating for the moment. And then the second pass, which like I said is source ID, atlas coords, all tile. That gets the actual tile data, not just the prep. Instead of doing this for each key in the whole data, we also only need to update the area that's actually changed. So we're going to copy this up and then change it. How did I do that up here? Did I also copy the description? No. I should, though. All right, so we're going to copy this up. Actually, I should, for this, I should actually be able to just change the for each. I shouldn't actually have to be that crazy. So for each, oh, no, I do have to change this because, so this is a switch with different cases, but we're actually going to change it to be a little different. Oh, I forgot that counts. Need the counts. You had a 4 back-to-back raid train with someone living in the opposite time zone? That's hilarious. Tricky Lady, if you 12-hour stream, that's possible to do with just 2 people. Yeah, you're a practical as a 12-hour stream. Capable person. Not me. I can do like a 3-4 hour stream. I stand up the whole time and I would die. I also have a day job, which I need to get back to in about 30 minutes. Someday I would be pleased to just game dev full time. But it is not this day. All right, so we're copying out this stuff. All right, we're just substituting a new module here, which is going to be this step. So instead of for each key, it's going to be for each vector 3i. Block in change bounds. Here we say if cutaways contains block continue. It's not that simple, is it? Or is it? Yeah, it is it, actually. Okay. So that's still true. Trick is to not have a day job. One simple trick. Gotta make some food, gonna lurk. Yeah, no worries. Enjoy. We can't do a new tile like this, so instead... So we can't declare tile here. Well, we can. Hull is hulls block. Okay, no, these can't be assigned here. And this actually, these need to be reset every time. So we're just gonna declare all of these up front. And then instead of a switch, we're going to do, we're gonna do it by layer. So we're gonna say, how do I say this up here? Tile map layer, number, and then what it's called. Okay. We're gonna just go through each layer again. So we're gonna say tile map layer 0, layer, call it deck layer X. How I call it. That's my naming convention. Yeah. Okay. So for that layer, so instead of this continue, it's gonna be a little different. So it's gonna be call. Okay, so we need to declare. So here we can say calls we can say hall equals halls new vector for I block 0. So instead of key, actually we do need to declare key. So that's going to be vector for I key. We're going to say key equals new vector for I block. Actually, we can say this. We can say key equals block. And then we can say key equals key with W equals 0. I do like me the with syntax. That is a nice piece of syntactical sugar, in my opinion. We don't need to declare that. I mean, we can. Calls key. So instead of continue, okay, so we need to invert this check. We need to say if call is not equal to call middle or cutaways.contains. So in either of these cases, we need to do all of this. Otherwise, we can just F off. Otherwise, what we need to do is we actually need to try to remove this. We need to say tiles key dot remove. Or no, we just say tiles dot remove key. I don't like the amount of negative space that's added here, but whatever. All right, Atlas chords. You just say atlas coords equals vector 2i dot 0. Start with 0. Actually declare the alt tile ID at the top, huh? Okay, so this works. I like doing it this way. I don't know why I flipped it up here. Where like we go this way, or we try to remove and continue, or we do all the work. I guess I should order it in whatever I feel is the most likely execution path. I feel like this is the more likely execution path. All right, so now we're going to write the other cases. I've made this a little difficult for myself here. We're going to say tile map, layer 1. Break this up top here. Get that out of the way. Invert this. There's just a button to invert this. Invert the if. Yep, sick. Else. All right, that should be relatively easy to write the rest of these then. Tile. So how's everyone doing? I know everyone seems to be lurking, but if anyone has questions or wants to talk about what they're working on or whatever, we're just chilling. We're just chilling while we refactor this to operate on just the diffs, not regenerate the entire tile map every single time there's a change. Which is what we were doing in the past. Now we're trying to only change the diffs when there's a change. We have a pretty crazy tile map editor tool that we use. I can show off in a bit. So instead of a switch case that we're iterating over for we're iterating per layer now. Instead of iterating over every tile and identifying the layer, now we're iterating over every block for each layer. We're figuring out the tile stuff. Invert this if of that. What happened? I think that might have done more than I wanted it to do. Maybe not though, maybe that's fine. It's Cyberus. You're all right. You really should be getting drink. Yeah, have some water. Hey, Ryson. Meow Mew, you're doing good. You're constantly procrastinating on your little game project. That is the way. Procrastination that's not constant. Is that really procrastination at all? Cyberus, you're trying to add shell completions to your CLI tool. Most shells are working well, but the library you were using for new shell completions wasn't giving great results, so now you're writing your own. That is also the way. It's like, there is a tool that is supposed to do exactly what I need to do, but it doesn't do this one thing. So I've decided to write the whole thing from scratch myself. That's how you get off on a tangent. But, it's really the only way to do this stuff. Tilemap layer 4? Wait, how am I on 2? Oh, it's because I'm counting from 0. Bulk layer X. Lamau, yep, exactly. Yeah. Cybris, your entire programming career is tangents upon tangents upon tangents. I know. It's like your programming career is a stack, and you're only ever pushing down until you reach some kind of Stack Overflow. The entire CLI tool was a side tangent that was just supposed to help you develop a Deltarune fan game. Now you're not even working on the fan game, and this tool is being used by other people. Hey, that's what careers are made of sometimes. If you can get people, you can get a good tool, and you can get people pay you for that tool. I mean, if it's just for fun, I mean, that's also cool. Kind of cool to have the clout of like, yeah, I wrote this tool. Stack Overflow would be burnout. Yeah, it probably would. Or it would be you're so deep into the stack that you don't remember why you started. You're having this Gandalf like, you're like, oh yeah, that's my name. That's what they called me. Like you forgot what you were sent here to do because you've been, you zoned out for 1,000 internal years. Tilemap layer 4. It's open source. Well, you got the clout. Clout is everything. Cloud is everything except, a source of income. But I'm grateful I'm not trying to make money from what I'm doing right now in games. It would stress me out too much. This was like my source of money. I mean, one day I would like to get to that point. But I would approach all of this very differently if that was like immediately my goal. I don't know what we're at, but I think we're at 5. 5, yeah. Wait, what happened? What happened to the if statement? Oh, did we not have that here? Did I break something? Did I delete something that I actually needed? No, we don't actually have a top level. Oh, because we always draw this? That can't be right. That can't be right. We can't always draw the Z level. What the hell? There should be a check here, like one of these, like if the hull is middle and cutaways. We should actually not be drawing the roof, the wall roof in every case. But now I need to think about what that case is. What's the case in which we don't draw the top tile of a wall? If there's a floor above it? Basically, there's any floor above it. So if hull is middle, and if hull is middle and not, or if the hull is not equal to middle, or cutaways dot contains, yeah, okay, yeah. Yes. Okay, we just manually add this, but not vector 3 dot left. We want vector 3 dot forward. It's the Z. I'm like approaching the time when I should really be getting back to work here, but I want to see this through. I know that this whole thing here seems to indicate that we're not very close, but we are. I think I might have just messed something up down there. Should be easy to fix, whatever it is. Now we just, so what about a door? When do we not draw a door? I guess we always draw a door, huh? I guess it's like if doors dot contains key. Or I guess we say doors dot try get value key out door tile. Do that. And then if that's not true, wait, what the F? Oh, there's a switch inside the door layer. Okay, fine. I actually am fine with that. Here it's going to be else tiles dot remove key. And we get rid of the default case. Oh yeah, we've like got, what the hell is going on here? Oh man, do I need to add the tile every single time? Oh man, okay, fine. Grab this. And all right, that is pretty much it. What we need to do now, well, let's get this up here. Atlas chords, always 0 in this case. No, not Atlas chords, alt tile. Where are we setting alt tile? Oh, we're doing it here. I hate this. I hate this so much. Change that. I feel like I didn't do this. I feel like Ryder changed how this was set up at some point. I feel like I had it like this. This is still terrible, but like, yeah, I need to fix that. But what I need to do is I need to deal with this awards.turn CCW2. I need to shorten that into just an easy. I need to turn that into something. easier to express. That's horrible. That makes me want to vomit. So here's our alt tile. Why is our alt tile always 1? Do we have an else alt tile equals 0? Or are we just declaring the alt tile at the top? Ah, I see. Alt tile ID equals 0. Okay, now what we need to do, though, is we need to... Oh, no. That's fine. I had something important in my clipboard, and then I got rid of it. I had this in my clipboard. Annoyingly, we need to do this every single time. Can't just do it once at the end of a switch statement. We have to do this in every single layer. I'm going to come up with a better way of doing this, but I could say new tile. And I could pass in key. Oh man, it is coming down outside. It's like rainy and windy. I love this so much. It's key and 0. Key. Oh, no, that's just the whole key. So we just say a new tile key. Is this proper syntax here? With expression is used instead of object initializer. And does this just set additional values? Is this like proper? Seems proper. New tile, key, and then set these additional fields. Cool. I didn't know that's how that worked. Let's copy that. And do that again on every level. Here it's a little more awkward. So we can do it down here. Why is there a break here? Is that because there was another switch statement? Or is that breaking out of this case? Breaking out of this case. So down here, that's where we put it. Source ID might not be initialized. Oh, yeah, okay. We can say alt tile ID equals 0. Here we can say source ID equals 0. Okay, in theory, that just works. Famous last words. Crash. All right, where's the problem? User unhandled exception. Given key -1 -1 -1 0 was not present in the dictionary. Yeah. I need a safety check here. I thought I had a safety check. Call key for each block and change blocks. Oh, we need a safety check. So that only happened here. That didn't happen up here. And it didn't happen up here because we have a safety check where we say if block buffer doesn't contain this, just continue. We need a similar check wherever this was. I don't remember where this was. Here. So up here we need this. So if the block buffer doesn't contain this, we just continue. protects against that. Okay, so we're not crashing. We have some errors. We have some weird, some non-fatal errors. Given key 0000 is not present in the dictionary. Yeah, okay. File system run line 525, 521, 521. Key, calls, key, oh. Key. Oh, duh. We need like... God, we need to nest this again. I need to come up with a more permanent, better way to do this. This is just my first attempt here at doing a system that only operates on the diffs. So we need to do like holes.try get value. We need to say if holes.try get value key. Well, hang on a second. This is the second step. Okay, yeah. Yes. So key out hole. So do we just need to do a check every single time? Probably. Do I reference key throughout? Yeah, I do. So I just need to do this every single time. Yeah. Oh. We can't actually do that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to make sure that we actually have... It's a little weird. I think this is maybe a little wrong. Holes.try get value. No, this should be right. This should be right. Weird that this wasn't like a fatal error. And it just quietly complained about it. Oh, I forgot to write this. What layer is this? Tilemap layer 6? Door layer? Right? Is that right? No, this isn't the door layer. This is layer 5. Bulk layer Z. Oh, are we not declaring the key here? When did we stop doing this all of a sudden? Oh, well, that's definitely part of the problem. I need... Okay, let's go back and do that. I need to actually change the key for each layer if I'm going to have... I'm going to be checking each layer separately. Oh, we're already doing that here, aren't we? So here we need to say... This is where we need to insert the different keys. The keys with different W's. So for this is W is 6. One is W is 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. All right, let's see if that runs. We got a tile down, and then we crash. Unsupported tilemap data format 13. Expected format ID lower or equal to 0. Oh, Lord. Why are we messing up the header like that? We're sending a tilemap format. In place of a tilemap format, we're sending like a position. How are we doing that? How is that possible? We didn't change any of this stuff. So the problem has something to do with the counts that we're accruing. So counts key.zw is counts.tryGetValue keys.zw out int count plus 1 or 1. So, but that's not affecting. Oh, what if I don't have. What if I don't have a count? That should work. Tiles.values thing should be fine. For Z is whatever, packdata.add. So how is that? How are we sending 13 pieces of data per tile instead of 14? We're supposed to be sending 14. Possible that levels and layers are not the right numbers anymore, but I don't think that's true. Layers are 7, levels is 5. That's correct because it's level 0 through 4. So somewhere we're messing this up quite royally. I think because we're not processing, so I think during the second step when we are supposed to be, so yeah, this counts deal, this counts dictionary, I think our problem is that we are not processing. How did we used to do it? The way it used to work is you would go through every key in the hall. You would, whatever category it was, you would go down here to the bottom. You'd assign the tiles, you'd assign the key. So you'd say tile with whatever. Maybe tile, maybe the way I'm declaring the tiles is wrong, but then you would do this part. And I think this is where the problem is. So you'd say counts key.zw equals counts.tryGetValue key.zw out count. And you'd either have increment the count, you'd either increment the count or you would start the count at 1. And that shouldn't cause a problem though, because this third pass, it should be used to that. I don't feel like we're doing that differently. Maybe we're trying to add data where we have nothing. Layer data for each tile and tiles.values. Layer key. New tile.area. Int tile.layer. Layer data. If we don't have data for this layer, we make the data. We declare the data with an entry with a format of 0. So this has to happen. We need to do this for every single layer, which is why we have this here. Somehow, we're not doing that correctly, which is why the tile map is getting data missing its very first piece of data per tile. Unsupported tile map data format 18. Yeah, so instead of it's the number that should be first, which is its data format, that should be getting added for every single... Now that should just be getting added to the first tile in the tile map. So here, so it's this. Somehow, this is not happening. Somehow, we're always getting this data. How? I didn't make any changes to this part of the code. That's the part that's frustrating. I didn't change this part, so why is it misbehaving? So we used to just do this once per tile. We should still be doing it once per tile, but the only thing I've done is I've added this to every single layer separately. And I've changed the way I declare the tiles. It's a mystery. Might be a mystery that has to wait for another day, unless I can just quickly identify what is. Am I making a mistake with the key? So if we don't get a value out of the hulls, we don't need to do anything. Oh, wait. No, that shouldn't matter. If we don't get a hull, we maybe need to delete the tile. We maybe need to remove the tile. We might need to do this. I don't see how this could affect anything. And in fact, I feel like I could get the baristas out of here. Make this less insane. I feel like this is not it, but we're going to do it because this is something we should be doing anyway. Because if a hull doesn't exist, the tile definitely doesn't exist. What? Oh, that was too far. Wait, hang on a second. Doors try get value. Else tiles dot remove. Okay, no, that's correct. We could change the way we structure this, but I don't think that's gonna matter. I think we're not cleaning things up correctly. think that's very likely the case, especially because of these continue statements. I think we need to do this a little differently. But I don't think this is going to resolve the issue. Oh. Kind of resolved the issue. Kind of. Emphasis on kind of. Okay, so now we're having some failure, but not total failure. So that's good. What we need to do here is we need to consolidate these statements. If either of these are true, we need to remove it, but we also need to remove a lot of keys. We need to remove block with, we need a new vector for I, a block 0. We basically need to go through all of these. We basically need to do this through. I guess I could make this a loop. GDScript and JavaScript have broken me. I've just like, or actually it's GDScript. GDScript has broken me. I do all sorts of weird formatting things now. Causes me lots of problems. Where even was I? Now I just clicked somewhere. Here? 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 What about here? Here? My Helldivers 2 joke. All right, now what we need to do is we need to go through all of that and then continue. Okay, this should help clean up the data. Because now we're not just, the easy thing before was we were just clearing the whole dictionary. Now we actually have to maintain the thing over time. Okay, we're having some fun. We're having some weird stuff here. Oh boy. It's worse. It's worse than it was before. What about here? Yeah, thanks, Smooth. All right, this is a disaster. But I'm at time. I'm actually over time. I usually don't stream for 4 hours. But we had some raiders. So our attempt to go from regenerating the entire tile map every single frame to only regenerating the parts of it that have changed has run into some issues. We've run into some trouble. Somehow we're passing through tile maps that don't have a header. I don't know how we're doing this, because I don't feel like I touched the part of the code that inserts the header. So I need to dig further into that. Remending. I think we're going to. I think we need a raid target. Probably going to be Fern. I am going to cue the music here. We've got our raid. Why did my pretzel close? Oh god, I lost my radio station. I'm going to play us out here, assuming my radio will work. Here we go. Do we like this? Thank you so much, Practical. Thank you so much, Raiders. It's been awesome. Been a great stream. We'll be back tomorrow. We stream Tuesdays through Saturdays at the same time. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to dig into the tilemap data and figure out what it looks like, why it's being malformed, and figure this out so that we can keep working on this optimization. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.